What is going on, guys? SteelTwins back at you with another video. It is officially the offseason for the Pittsburgh Steelers, unfortunately.
Yes, unfortunately, but we are back. We've been out for a few weeks, but we're back to give you guys the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news and our thoughts and opinions on it. There's been some retirements, some additions to the coaching staff, thankfully, and honestly, some very controversial additions to the roster for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
As it is usually every offseason for the Steelers.
Right.
But the standard is the standard, and we are here to give our opinions on the situation.
Yes. I will be wearing my glasses in this video just because I honestly can't read.
Yeah, his eyesight's just as bad as, I'd say, Deshaun Watson's situation in Houston.
Yes.
And I feel bad for that guy. You know, he's not going to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
No.
The Steelers are not trading for Deshaun Watson. They're not trading for Sam Darnold. They're not trading for Aaron Rodgers. They're not trading for anybody.
No.
We're not going to get a quarterback.
No. But then again, we thought the same thing
a month ago
with Dwayne Haskins.
And that's where we're going to start off right here. The Steelers have signed Dwayne Haskins to a reserve future contract. Former Washington football team quarterback Dwayne Haskins is officially a Pittsburgh Steeler.
First round pick of 2019.
Yes.
He fell. The Giants took Daniel Jones instead of Dwayne Haskins. Many people found that very controversial, idiotic.
But on the Giants side, but looking at it now, they seem like the smartest organization considering how Haskins has been.
Right, how he's taken his approach to his NFL career. How
he is off the field anyway. I mean, he was not listening to the coaches. I even heard a report that Thomas Davis was like giving him advice, and he never listened. And that's Thomas Davis right there, man. One of the most underrated linebackers I'd say in NFL history.
Right. So, I mean, Dwayne Haskins is a very interesting character.
Very.
He looked great as an Ohio State Buckeye. He threw 50 touchdowns in his final year. I thought he was the best quarterback of that draft class that year, in my opinion. Then he fell to Washington.
And it looked like Washington actually had a bright future, and they still do. But considering how they had a young quarterback and a developing quarterback, they looked like they could be something down the road. But Haskins just never developed. He never really cared. He looked like Jamarcus Russell out there.
Yeah, he. Now it's partial on Haskins' side, but it's incredibly partial on Washington's side as well. Once they picked up what's his name?
Alex Smith?
No, the head coach, Ron Rivera.
Oh yeah.
When they picked up Ron Rivera, he was never a fan of Dwayne Haskins. He did not select Dwayne Haskins. Haskins came in the year prior to Rivera. So,
with Jay Gruden. And I actually think Jay Gruden actually didn't want Haskins, or his team didn't want him.
Washington didn't want him either way, but they kind of had to because they needed a quarterback.
Right.
With Smith's injury and everything there.
Yeah, that's right.
So they needed a quarterback. They were pretty much pressured to take quarterback. Thus, they took Haskins. But let's be real. They didn't want him. Rivera never liked him. That's why he started Kyle Allen over Haskins. Now, he was in a terrible situation in Washington. They didn't want him. They didn't like him. They put him in bad situations. But at the same time, Haskins, he didn't really care much. I mean, midway through the year where Washington had a chance to take the division and go to the playoffs, in which they did, the quarterback position was up in the air with Kyle Allen being injured and Alex Smith getting back on the football field after almost a life-threatening injury and surgery and infection. This was his time to take that spot, take that quarterback starting job, and take the team to the playoffs. He didn't care. He failed protocols, didn't wear a mask, and thus partied at a strip club.
Yeah, he didn't care about the team. He didn't listen to the team. So, obviously, Washington cut him. He got rid of him.
He's a very interesting character, very interesting story. I remember talking to Steel Jedi. Huge shout to him. A few months ago, after Haskins actually got cut, he was saying, don't be surprised if the Pittsburgh Steelers pick up Dwayne Haskins as competition for Duck, who is now with the Rams, or Dobbs, who could be a free agent,
right,
or Mason. And I just brushed it off like that's not happening. They're not going to take Haskins because of his character.
Yeah, they're not going to deal. They're not going to deal with that concerning, the two individuals who are going to be in the Super Bowl.
Let's not talk about that.
Yes,
which, by the way, while we're at it, we're just going to announce here right now. Saturday night, we will be live on this channel for a Super Bowl discussion with the Discord chat. Now, for everyone currently in our Discord chat, everyone is invited that's currently in the Discord chat. For those that want to join us and aren't in the Discord chat, the way that you can join the Discord chat is to DM us on Twitter at SteelTwins or on Instagram at SteelTwins. We'll be live sometime around 8 or 9, I'd say. Eastern Standard Time, Saturday night, discussing the Super Bowl. So since you already brought that up, might as well just make the announcement right now. We'll be live Saturday night for a Super Bowl discussion with the Discord chat.
Yes.
We'll also be live immediately following the Super Bowl, where we'll announce the winner of the Minkah Fitzpatrick signed jersey giveaway that was exclusive to whoever joined us for this season's weekly predictions.
Yes.
But back to Haskins. I didn't think they'd sign him.
No, neither did I. I don't think a lot of, some Steelers fans were very hopeful, because he is still young. He could still be developed. He could still have a bright future if you really think about it. But with his character, we didn't think it was going to happen.
No, but however, nothing about this signing is guaranteed.
No, it's not.
He signed a 1-year, $850,000
deal, something around like that.
But nothing is guaranteed.
No.
None of it's guaranteed. If he messes up and goes out of line again, he's cut. He's done.
Yep.
His career might as well be over. However, if he matures, which hopefully he did, in fact, I think it was between the Panthers and the Steelers that he could have chose.
Yes.
And he chose the Steelers. He wanted to play for Mike Tomlin. And that seems to be a going thing with a lot of players around the league. They want to play for a guy like Mike Tomlin because he's a hell of a mentor. He's
how Tomlin is as a coach. Yes, he loves his guys. He loves his players.
So that alone might get Haskins focused on his career. He seems blessed. He seems happy that he's going to be back.
Yeah, you see in the picture.
Or get his pro career back on track.
Right, you see in the picture where he signed the contract, obviously he's wearing a mask, but you can tell how happy and excited he is to be a Steeler.
Right.
So maybe that speaks something. Maybe he actually wants to focus on his career.
So hopefully he matures. Is he the future? That's too early to tell. We're not going to get into discussion on that because we honestly don't know. That's
to be determined. But this is very hopeful for Haskins, considering how Ben is, considering he's going to be coming back, but he's not going to be staying for long, obviously. No. I truly believe next year will be his last.
So we're optimistic about this signing. It could work out, it could not, but it's a low risk, possible high reward signing.
Right, and it gives Mason some actual challenge at the backup quarterback position because Mason never really did have competition.
No, Landry Jones, Josh Dobbs,
Duck Hodges, come on, man, those guys. They're not very good quarterbacks, obviously.
Now, Dwayne Haskins arguably isn't a good quarterback either, but honestly, he's still young. He could still use a lot of development.
Right.
So, I'm hopeful for Haskins. We'll see what he can do. At this point, he's fighting for a roster spot. Whether we keep Dobbs or not, I don't know. That has yet to be determined with free agency. But he could be fighting for a roster spot right now. And then maybe he can work his way up to second string, maybe starter worthy. Because like you said, this is Ben's last year. There's no doubt. This upcoming season is Ben's last year.
Yeah.
So we could draft a quarterback maybe. We could see a competition battle between Mason if he signs another contract and Haskins next year. I don't know. But at this point, I'm excited for Haskins to see what he can do. Hopefully he gets his pro career back on track. Maybe we get a preseason, hopefully, and we can actually see some progression from the guy and he can actually prove his case to make the 53. Because at this point, that's all he's fighting for at this point.
Right.
So
and that's what he needs to focus on, too.
So it's a low-risk, high-reward signing. So it's not that bad.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens. So,
but outside of that, let's get right into the coaching, I guess. Steelers decide not to renew Randy Fichtner, Sean Sarrett, and Tom Bradley's contract. Thank God. Fichtner, we all know he was horrible.
We all know he needed to go, and thank God he's going. Sean Sarrett, he never did anything. He was never very beneficial for the offensive line.
How do you work under Mike Munchak but not do well?
I don't get it.
Now, Sarrett dealt with a lot of aging talent. I'll give him that. Pouncey and DeCastro are aging, sure. Villanueva is aging. So, he's got a lot of aging talent that he's got to work with that are greatly out their prime. However, he didn't, I don't know if it was his technique that he changed up or whatever, but he was not a good offensive line coach at all.
No, he wasn't benefiting our line whatsoever. You saw the decline our offensive line had. It was not good.
And Tom Bradley, I'm not surprised to see him go. He used to be our, I believe, who was our defensive backs coach.
Yeah.
Now, we currently don't have a defensive backs coach. That still has yet to be determined. But I'd imagine with the way or how the Steelers are approaching their vacant coaching situations
positions right now, it looks like that we could promote Tyrell. I think that's how you say it. Terrell Austin to defensive back coach. I would not be surprised if they do that.
Well, he's already our secondary coach, so I won't be surprised if he gets promoted to defensive backs coach altogether.
Right, and I will say, since he has joined the Steelers, you saw our defensive backs actually improve a lot.
Yes.
So that's something to note.
Right.
To think about.
And speaking of the Steelers just promoting their in-house guys, that seems to be the thing with their vacant coaching situations, is that they just they've interviewed some outside sources. They interviewed Hugh Jackson. They've interviewed Pep Hamilton. They interviewed there was another name.
Hank Farley for offensive line coach. They also interviewed two others that I can't really remember their names.
So, I mean, they've interviewed outside sources, but they've rarely actually signed outside sources. They just rather promote in-house names, which has honestly been a reoccurring thing with the Steelers organization the last 10 years.
Yeah.
They promoted Randy Fichtner after Todd Haley left. They promoted Keith Butler after Dick LeBeau left. I mean, they just keep promoting their guys.
Right.
Their guys. They're not really going to outside sources and making some decent moves at the coaching.
They're not going out of their way, away from what the Steelers do with Tom and Doug, and actually looking for more, experienced guys, that have been in the league, that have been with other teams, that could benefit this team. Instead, he promotes guys.
Right. They're not going outside the box. They're just sticking with their in-house names.
Which some is beneficial, but the majority of the time it's not. And it's one of the things that has been hurting us for years and years and years.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look at the coordinators.
Yeah, Fichtner sucked. Butler, I don't think he's really all that good. I don't.
No, he's not a coordinator.
He keeps putting Vince Williams on starting freaking number one receivers.
Right, so.
That's not going to work.
No.
He's not Derek Brooks over here.
And speaking of Keith Butler, he signed a one-year deal and will retain his role as the Steelers defensive coordinator. So there you go. We'll be seeing Keith Butler back for one more year.
So have fun watching Vince Williams on T. Higgins next year.
Oh, Jesus
2 years in two times a year.
Oh, Jesus God. Oh, Jesus
Prepare
God.
for it, man. Prepare for it.
Now, one guy that they did go out the box and actually sign, that was, an outside source, was for their tight end coaching job. James Daniel retired after, I forget how many years he was with the Steelers. But
Over a decade, absolutely.
Right, but he retired after being the Steelers tight end coach, and they needed a new one, obviously. So they signed Alfredo Roberts, great name, Alfredo Roberts as a new tight end coach. Now, he actually has a lot of experience as a tight end coach. He previously worked with, I believe, the Jaguars, the Bucks, the Colts, and the Chargers under that same role. So he has a lot of experience as a tight end coach.
Yeah, he does.
Now, some of his best work as a tight end coach, I'd say, was with the Colts with who was it? It was
Jack Doyle or
I think it was Jack Doyle and
Dwayne Allen.
There you go, Dwayne Allen.
There
yes.
we go.
So
he's there's some notable names. I didn't even think Kobe Fleener at one point.
Right.
Who remembers him? I don't know, but. He has some experience as a tight end coach, and it could benefit us. The
good thing about him, he has a lot of experience.
Yeah, of course.
So, I mean, that's one good thing to note about him. Now, one big name that, got a lot of Steelers fans excited. Now, this is arguably an in-house promotion, but you could say it's also not because he's only been with the team for 1 year as our quarterback coach. And they promoted him to OC after Randy Fichtner thankfully didn't get renewed.
Yeah, it's something that we all expected. The Steelers did indeed promote quarterback coach Matt Canada to be the Steelers' new offensive coordinator.
Thank God. We all knew he needed to be the OC. We all knew that in that Browns game in Week 17, he had more influence than Fichtner did, because why the hell did we see Mason Rudolph air it out more times than we saw with Ben in the last second half of the season? Right. Why did we see Josh Dobbs in some fucking quarterback reads and some read options? We never saw this under Fichtner. That was all Matt Canada. You cannot convince me otherwise. So we have someone with creativity, someone who can actually open up this offense a little bit and balance it out more.
It has that mindset of today's generation of football, of the NFL.
I'm excited for Matt Canada, man. I am incredibly excited for Matt Canada to be the new OC with his if we do retain Dobbs, maybe we see more of the read options with Dobbs, man. That would be great to see. It was a nice refresher for the offense Week 17. We're going to see a lot more motion, which will definitely confuse defenses, especially with who he'll utilize in those motions. Guys like Ray McLeod, who we might retain. Guys like Claypool and Juju and Johnson, who we've seen, if we do keep Juju, by the way.
Maybe even Anthony McFarland, considering he was, I think, his offensive coordinator, not only in high school, but in college as well in Maryland.
Yes, so that is something to note. I'm expecting a pretty decent year from Anthony McFarland next year. Yeah. They have a great relationship. Matt Canada loves McFarland. He was actually, I'm sure, an influencer on why we selected McFarland. Now, the Steelers love their Maryland guys, but Matt Canada, I'm sure, had some influence in his drafting last year. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited for Anthony McFarland next year with Matt Canada as a new OC. See where we'll use him. Maybe we use him in those motions, in those jet sweeps, which I'm sure we'll see a lot from Canada. Maybe we'll see him more in the backfield as a receiving back, which if you give him a lot of open space, man, hopefully with a new O-line as well. That guy can be a home run runner. So I'm excited for Anthony McFarland, and the addition of Matt Canada just influences that a little more.
Right.
So I'm excited for Matt Canada.
Absolutely. I think we all should be. The guy's got a great mind, and, using the talent that we have, even with Big Ben in there, we should be excited.
That is one thing to note. I'm glad you brought that up because Matt Canada will have to motion his scheme a little bit because Ben's going to be at quarterback. Ben is not going to change his ways for Matt Canada's offense. It'll have to be the other way around.
Right.
But I'm sure Canada and his young, fresh, creative mind
and his knowledge
can do that.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll find a way.
Which I'm excited for Matt Canada, man. Just talking about, thinking about, and who we could potentially add in the draft. I'm excited for Matt Canada as new OC. He can't be any worse than Fichtner, right?
No, and we were all hopeful about Fichtner considering his relationship with Ben, but my God,
if anything, that made the offense worse.
Dude, I did not think that he could be worse than Todd Haley.
He was.
It was at a point that I wanted Todd Haley to come back, and I'm being serious. But thank God Fichtner's gone. Matt Canada is new OC. Good shit.
Yes.
Real good shit. Now that leaves quarterback coach to be open.
Right now,
we have no quarterback coach as of right now.
Now, I was hoping the Steelers would have grabbed Pep Hamilton, who was the Chargers quarterback coach. Now, Pep Hamilton has a lot of history with developing quarterbacks like Andrew Luck, like Justin Herbert. I mean, just those are the two names that come off the top of my head. He played a big role in both of those guys' developments.
Yeah.
Now, he was the Chargers quarterback coach last year, and he was being interviewed for the Titans offensive coordinator job. We actually interviewed him for our offensive coordinator job.
Before we promoted Fichtner.
Now,
not Fichtner, Canada, I'm sorry.
Right. Now, the Chargers let him go, and he went to
Houston.
Yeah, he went to the Texans to be their quarterback coach. So that was a bummer. I was hoping we'd get Pep Hamilton to be our new quarterback coach because that'd be a major bonus for guys like Mason Rudolph and Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah.
That would definitely help develop them incredibly.
It would.
So it sucks we didn't get Pep Hamilton as a quarterback coach. Now, we did interview Mike Sullivan. No, not the Penn's head coach. Mike Sullivan, I believe he has history with as quarterback coach under the Giants when Eli Manning was there. So not the greatest resume, but it can't be that bad. Now, he was interviewed. He's not hired. It's not official, but that's something to note there. Otherwise, I don't know who the hell we could have as the quarterback coach.
I really can't think of any other coaches, I'm not really familiar with a guy like Mike Sullivan, but maybe that could be a benefit.
Right.
I don't know. I really don't know.
But if you guys have any names who could be our quarterback coach, please leave them down below. That'd be a great thing to note there because I'm out of options. I'm truly out of options. So were the Steelers when it came to the offensive line job for the offensive line coach since Son Sarah didn't get renewed. They promoted Adrian Clem to offensive line coach. Now, he previously served as our assistant offensive line coach under Sean Sarrett. Now, that alone doesn't make this this promotion, rather, again, another promotion from the Steelers, too incredible. It doesn't make it sound too great. However, unlike Sarrett, Clem has playing experience in the league.
Right. And when you saw the Steelers interviewing for that position, like a Hank Farley and the other two other candidates they tried to interview, they used to play football. They used to play offensive line.
Yeah,
and just like Mike Munchak when he was with us, obviously a Hall of Fame offensive lineman, used to play football.
Yeah,
so they were looking for guys that used to play football, and Adrian Clem used to play football. I actually think he was a starting offensive lineman for Brett Favre at one point.
Yes, for Tom Brady and Brett Favre, for the Patriots and the Packers.
Yeah.
So, and those were two pretty good offensive lines back then. So, now, yes, he was under Sean Sarrett, but he does have playing experience. So, I mean, there's pros and cons here. It's more of those wait-and-see games with Adrian Clem.
Right.
But at least he's a fresh mind. He has playing experience, and he is familiar with our current talent.
Yeah.
So, and hopefully we address the offensive line early in the draft, which I'm sure we will. And
we need to. The offensive line needs to be buffed up.
Yeah.
It needs to get younger. It needs to get better.
I'm hoping they bond well and mix well with Clem. So that's all we can say there. But
yeah.
One thing that we got to finish out here is, of course, the retirement of Vance McDonald, which saves the Steelers $5.2 million in cap space.
Yes, it does. It just came out of nowhere, though.
He's 30 years old, and he retired. Now, good for him. He gets his health in place for the rest of his life. He's set for life with, the money he has.
Mm-hmm.
But, it was crazy. There were talks where he might be a cap casualty, or maybe we keep him and restructure his contract because he's a solid blocker and a decent weapon alongside Eric Ebron, who is just more of a vertical threat and is a horrible blocker.
Yeah.
I did not expect Vance McDonald to retire, just flat out. It turns out he always planned to retire after the 2020 season.
They actually told Ben, I believe it was last year after we lost to the Ravens, actually.
Right. So, I mean, it's crazy because you don't know what exactly is behind closed doors. We all thought Vance McDonald could be a cap casualty, but in reality, he always planned to retire no matter how the season turned out.
Right.
So, good on Vance McDonald for getting, his health in place and going out pretty well with in terms of finance and health and stuff like that. So, yeah. Vance McDonald obviously was a decent starter and did well in every role he had and did it with class and honor. So that's all you could ask for from a guy like Vance McDonald at the tight end position. He was pretty decent. I actually liked Vance McDonald. I wasn't a fan of him when we first added him because he didn't do much in San Francisco. But then you mix him up with Ben, a tight end happy quarterback.
Yeah.
We saw a little bit of potential from him. And that 2018 year really...
that was without a doubt his best year. I think over 600 yards and a good amount of touchdowns.
Dude, he was a freight train, man. If you were in his way, he'd knock you down.
Yeah.
Just ask Chris Conley.
Yeah, he never recovered.
No.
Ever.
That was his last game.
Are you serious?
Truthfully.
I did not know that.
I believe he injured his PCL. I could be wrong, but he injured something and has never played a game since.
God damn.
That's how ferocious.
His career from him.
Yes, he did, literally.
But Vance McDonald, he retires, damn. And that leaves an opening for our tight end position. We have no current decent backup tight end because I don't trust Zach Gentry.
No, he is not a number 2. He might not even be a number 3. Tight end is a serious need now, whether we pick one up in free agency or the draft. I'd go to the draft. I would draft a really blocking, heavy type tight end in the draft day 2, day 3. If we don't go day 2, early day 3.
I will not mind that. We need, youth at that position because Ebron is getting up there with age. So we need some youth up there. But if we go in free agency, I don't really know who's really out there. But one name that I would not mind bringing back is obviously Jesse James. Because he's owed $5 million from the Lions?
Yeah, so...
And he's a backup. TJ Hockenson has that role already.
Right, so, I mean, if...
The Lions ain't going to pay him that much money. I don't think Dan Campbell's going to want him biting off kneecaps.
Absolutely not a guy like Jesse James. So, if he gets cut by the Lions, I'd gladly bring back Jesse James because he's a decent blocker. He was. That's all we need right now is a number 2 who can block.
Right. But if we go in the draft, I would not mind that at all. It gets youth and a guy to develop.
We already got names in our mind right now. We're not going to announce any names yet because those are safe for the mock drafts, which our first mock draft will be uploaded this Wednesday. The Wednesday after the Super Bowl, the first Wednesday after the Super Bowl. And I don't know what the scheduling will be for the mock drafts. We could do what we've done the last 2 years where we upload one mock draft every Wednesday, or it could be one mock draft every other Wednesday, or maybe we do a Steelers mock draft every other Wednesday, and then every other Wednesday we do a NFL first round mock draft, if you know what I mean. So, like this Wednesday, we do a Steelers mock draft. Then next Wednesday, we do an NFL first-round mock draft. And then the week after that, we just do Steelers mock draft and vice versa and keep going on. So,
right.
I don't know. I don't know what the scheduling will be on that. We'll update you guys. Hopefully, we have a schedule in set for, the offseason. And we can announce that during our first mock draft, which, again, will be uploaded come Wednesday after the Super Bowl. So, but, again, we will also be live Saturday night, the night before the Super Bowl with the Discord chat. For those that are currently in the Discord chat, it is open to anyone that's in the Discord chat right now. If you want to join the Discord chat and join us for the discussion, you guys can DM us for an invite on Twitter at SteelTwins or on Instagram at Steel_twins. So that is announced there. Also, we will, again, be live immediately after the Super Bowl where we'll announce the winner of the Minka Fitzpatrick sign giveaway that is exclusive to whoever joined us for this year's weekly predictions, man.
Yep.
We'll probably have a little discussion here and there after that. So, hope you guys enjoyed, man. Let us know your guys' thoughts about the signings and the retirements and the signing of Dwayne Haskins and stuff like that down below, man. We'll have more news when they are out. Free agency is almost upon us, so thus a lot of Steelers news will be added. This is going to be a crazy offseason. It already is. All these signings and these promotions that the Steelers have added, it's already crazy.
It's already interesting.
So wait until free agency happens. We don't know who we're going to keep. Hilton could be gone. Sutton could be gone. Juju could be gone. There's going to be a lot of guys that could be gone. There's going to be a lot of restructures. Ben already knows. This is another thing that we forgot to add, but I'm just thinking of it now. Ben does indeed. He will be back, and he does agree he needs to restructure his contract. Now, we could extend him, which could balance out his current hit throughout the next few years if we do extend him, or we could just flat out give him a pay cut. And we could turn all that into a signing bonus, and then we get all that cap back for this year, which could help us retain guys like Juju, Sutton, Hilton, guys like that, or maybe even Dupree.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know, but it's going to be a crazy offseason. We'll have some news out once they're added, but of course it's mock draft season as well. So we're going to have a lot of content coming out this upcoming offseason, man, for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's going to be one crazy offseason. I'm excited. But let us know your guys' thoughts down below, man. Here we go, Steelers.
And before we get out of here, I just got to pitch in the merch. We haven't been pitching in the merch as much as we really should have.
Yes.
But, merch. SteelTwins merch, shop.spreadshirt.com/SteelTwins. Get your SteelTwins merch. Get your Browns or the Browns, although that's pretty irrelevant now. But
yes.
Get your Browns or the Browns t-shirt. Get your SteelTwins t-shirt. Get your Peace t-shirt. And we are thinking of some more ideas to add to the merch shop.
Oh, we already got some ideas. We might be including hats. We could be including beanies.
Well, these kids, it's so cold outside.
Right, or maybe even some new designs, which I'm sure I already have one in set. Believe me. So,
all right.
We got some new designs coming up, but I just want to plug that in there. Otherwise, give us your guys' thoughts down below, man. Here we go, Steelers. And, see you guys in the next one.
Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you later.
Peace!